Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to Amberland. I'm your host, Amber Land. No, that doesn't make any sense. I just don't want to put my government out there. But I'm your host, Amber. Very happy to be back. Definitely the second go around of doing this episode in particular, because baby didn't do that edit first. Well, I did, and then it sounded good, right? And then it didn't once I uploaded it. So we all good. There's like a few people who heard the staticky version of it, so sorry if you heard that. But hey, you get two shows in one. Congrats. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of congratulations in order. I am pretty damn drunk. I am sipping on this agua right now because, yeah, a little bit too much rum. So, yeah, and also I wasn't really feeling too great, so I had to lie down a little bit and then get recuperated, but nothing the baby can't handle. Don't know why I keep referring to myself as baby. I guess I'm Jennifer Grey and Dirty Dancing, which, by the way, that movie had a major impact on me as a kid. I really loved that movie growing up, and I was 5 years old when my brother and I, who was 5 years older than me, so he was 10, I was 5, and I was like, yo, let's recreate that scene where I run and you try to pick me up, and I busted my knee. So it didn't end too well. Then I also, not only did I bust my knee, but I messed up my stocking, so there's a big old hole in the knee. Mama was not pleased, and also she doesn't, that's the last thing you want to see as a mother of a daughter, have a hole in the knee on the stocking. Anyway, so there is a new way of flirting I'm learning. It's just showing your whole face. All you got to do, that's the new way of flirting. It's like, oh, okay. And then they just take their mask off. It's like, look at my face. And it's like, cool. It's as long as you don't, I don't really care. No matter what your face look like, you're contagious. Like Ronald Osley featuring that nigga that we don't fuck with no more. And Shantae Moore randomly, who's like, where were you in that? Okay. She's like, Shantae's got a man. Remember that song? That was about Kadeem Hardison, allegedly. And then she moved on to Kenny Lattimore. And then she just moved on completely. So that song was weird. She was really happy about having a man. Did a whole last ballad about it. But anyway, yeah. That's the new way of flirting. It's like, all right, cool, man. You take care now. I ain't messing with. I'm just gonna be sitting here in my corner because, no matter what, man, people gonna say some shit anyway. So, anyway, that's beyond the point. I'm jumping ahead of the gun, if you will. So, I got outlines, and the next thing is toes touch the floor behind me. I write my outlines like I write my set list when I'm doing stand-up comedy. It's just like random ass phrases, and it's like, huh? And they're all inexplicably just like random phrases inexplicably there. It's like, huh? Toes touch the floor behind me. Cool. But yeah, I had a recent triumph that I celebrated. And there's a lot of celebrations in order, baby. Not just your boy and your girl getting in the getting inaugurated. But yeah, I re-inaugurated my favorite yoga pose back into my life. Because I haven't done this in the past, over a year, where I do this pose. It's a standard pose where you stretch, your back, and then you lift your legs up, and then you just see how far it can go behind you on the back. And so I was able to touch the floor with my toes both times, 2 days in a row. So I feel really good about that, and the fact that I was able to get right up after that. So yeah, I'm just doing a lot of incorporating yoga because I'm just getting too old to not stretch and try to live my life like it's golden. So with a flower in my hair, riding a bicycle. Shout out to Jill Scott. So yeah, man, I'm just, out here trying to, show how flexible I am with myself. That's the only time I'm flexible with these joints. Anything else, I'm like, nah. Now, yeah, it's been a very interesting week already, though. So I'm just trying to really remember all that I recorded from the from this episode, part 1. Yeah, I definitely want to give a shout out before I hop right into the 2-3 zone. I want to give a shout out to the people who are keeping or who are curating top aggregating, rather. It's like a black podcast aggregator, top black podcasts, and they reached out to me on Instagram, and then I emailed them my info, and then they gave me a nice shout out on their page, and I got a lot of views and a lot of new follows because of that. So shout out to topblackpodcast.org. They're based in London, and also shout out to Jay Johnson in particular, because he reached out and he really helped me with some promos and like marketing tools for how to make my podcast grow. So I really appreciate him as well, giving me the scoop. And so yeah, just shout him out galore, man. Top black podcast. So thank you all very much for your insight, and I will do my best to apply it as well as possible. So out here, baby. And we're going to go right into the 2-3, because today is Wednesday, January 20th. I originally planned on having my podcast out on the day of the inauguration, but again, Statics McGee. So at least this is clear now. And also, I'm really glad I got to see the inauguration. Everybody's giving Amanda Gorman props. So, and shout out to her, because not only did she perform beautifully with that poem, and she's from Harvard, but also she is showing how great the color yellow looks on dark complexions. Go ahead, girl. So if you are not, hey, boom. It's not necessarily yellow, but it's gold, so it's of that hue. So yeah, man. shout out to her. Shout out to yellow, the color yellow, and how well it looks on dark-skinned women. Irony. But yeah, that was really beautiful, man. That was a beautiful everything about it was beautiful. The ceremony was beautiful. So of course, Chaboy wasn't there. Dump. Don't nobody care about that dude, man. And then Pence, he clearly didn't want to be there, but he showed up. So, I'm not giving him props of any sort, but hey, at least he showed some ounce of decency towards the end, kinda. But very, very glad that that nigga's out the White House. Get that nigga out the La Casa Blanca. Very overrated movie. But anyways, yeah, that movie that was the 45th presidency was really shitty. Definitely a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, as well as all the thumbs down. Just terrible, terrible presidency. Very, very glad that nigga out there. He is out, and it's so funny because the people at Mar-a-Lago is like, yeah, you bought this resort, but we really don't want you here. We got the paperwork where it said you just come here a lot, but you wouldn't necessarily be a permanent resident. Ooh. But yeah, he's going to be in Florida, so where the rest of the people like him belong. They don't even want his ass in New York. That's wild. Oh, well, that's the end of that. This will be nothing but news. The only thing that we going to really care about as far as news coming from him is just how much of a comeuppance he's going to get, because that nigga is going to get it for sure. Oh, the whole Chucks and Pearls thing. When I went to work, my coworker's like, I didn't wear my Chucks today, but I got pearls. I'm like, why you gonna wear Chucks, man? You working all day. You don't even wear that. That's bad for your feet. And then I just didn't get it. And then later on, I was like, oh, Chucks and Pearls because of Kamala Harris. All right, got it. But you ain't gonna catch me wearing no pearl necklace. Way too much cum, okay? It's just too much cum. Because, all right, more for me. So yeah, new era though. I don't know if it's a new era for our black ass. I mean, yeah, Kamala. She is all the first. First South Asian, first black person, first female vice president, all the first. So very, very dope. And the fact that she's AKA an Howard University alum is really cool. It's very, very black. So, we could talk about the shit that she did that put people in jail when she was a prosecutor, sure. But at the end of the day, when you play spades, you play to win. Kidding. Definitely not comparing her putting lots of people in jail for small marijuana offenses to playing spades. But I wonder what she gonna do about that, especially a lot of shit's legal now. So, and then the whole 3 strikes thing, it's like, ugh, that's still something that's fucked up. Speaking of 3 strikes, someone was telling me how, like, in places like New York and Cali and other, like, just big old states that thrive off putting black men in jail, there's with the 3 strikes, there's these there was this thing where city officials or something, there was like part of the city planning where they were or the police force really just trying to set up black kids, so they would have these $500 bikes that was just lying around, and you see a bike and ain't nothing claimed for it, of course the kid's gonna try to ride it. Well, once them kids get caught, guess what? It's a felony, because $500 or more, anything you steal in that range, felonious. So they stayed trying it, man. But anyways, I really don't want to focus too much on the past when it comes to Kamala Harris. I really want to see what's going to happen. The only thing I have is, the past with Joe Biden is how terrible he was with, he was a prosecutor as well. I mean, he prosecuted, he was on the prosecution team and he was defending, Clarence Thomas, for the sexual harassment case with Anita Hill. So she endorsed him because she realized that anybody better than Trump, but still it's like, the past though, what you gonna do about it? You gotta overcome it somehow. Let's see what he gonna do. The thing though I don't really want to hear is like how all these people, there's been so many people who were so-called our allies who still didn't believe us and gaslit us up until, like, even to George Floyd, that like took some people to get it, but even George Floyd didn't take some people to get it. It took the fucking mob in insurrectionists insurrectionists get it. But yeah, they clearly don't bust nuts, so that's why they're so upset, and they stormed the Capitol, and it took a lot of white people to really see, white supremacy really is a thing. It's not something that black people are making up. They're not just complaining. They're actually talking about what they go through and the trauma that they had to endure because of it. So when it comes to what's happening now with the inauguration of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, don't act like you value us now. It's like, thank a black woman. Nah, we raising our prices, bitch. Bang! We been done raising our prices. Y'all ain't gonna be stressing us out no more. You ain't gonna try to make us no goddamn mule or no movement. Y'all chill. Just like we gonna chill. Bye! Bye-bye, nigga, in sync. So, but the ultimate buy, which, and I'm really not, probably won't ever talk about this nigga ever again after this episode. Trump is allegedly doing, he said he was going to do over 100 pardons, which clearly the pardon is going to be some of those idiots who stormed the Capitol, whatever. Isn't that crazy how they stormed the Capitol, they climbing walls like the same people that Trump wanted to keep America great from? It's so fucking weird. I'm glad the shit's over. 2-finger salute. We're gonna keep it moving. Speaking of 2-finger salute, Atlanta Dream is doing the same old thing to Kelly Loeffler. That hateful bitch. She is donezo when it comes to being 49% owner of the Atlanta Dream. There's been more than 5 people bidding for her spot, and she's no longer associated with the team. She's out of there. So now we're just going to see who's going to be co-owning the Atlanta Dream. And maybe they'll get a championship. Who knows? Lord knows Atlanta needs a new one. I mean, got the soccer team, but yeah. Bye-bye, Kelly Loeffler. Again, 3 times. She just keeps on losing. James Harden, on the other hand, the only thing he lost is that weight that he showed up with at the Houston training camp. Because James Harden, the Brooklyn Net, he looks pretty good. He is pretty much so in shape. Did he have a fat suit when he showed up with the Rockets? Like, what was that? Like, did he really lose like 30 pounds in like 3-4 weeks? Like, what are we doing? But nonetheless, he is a Brooklyn Net now. And they actually, speaking of inaugurations, so many inaugurations and celebrations. So another inauguration is of the Brooklyn Nets Big Three, because Kyrie Irving decided to come back. I don't know if it's a coincidence that he came back and it's the Cleveland Cavaliers that they're playing, so he probably still got a little beef with Cleveland. Hell, everybody got beef with Cleveland. Even I read, what's his name, Kevin Porter Jr., he said that to the GM that it was modern-day slavery, what they're trying to do to him. So it's like, I mean, you getting paid $1 million. You getting paid $1 million. He's getting paid $1.7 million to not play this year. So I don't think it's modern day slavery. But if you were in the NCAA, your point, it would be very valid. Which the March Madness tournament is a thing. It is happening. I'll get to that later. But yeah, so James Harden is definitely a Brooklyn Net now, and it happened. It was obvious, but it wasn't obvious. So that's why I think him showing up with that weight, it was just so random. And it's clear that him showing up out of shape, the Rockets would want to trade him. And then when he met up with the Nets, he's like, "Don't worry about this. I'm gonna lose all this." And they're like, "All right, my G, bet." And there we go. So let's see what's gonna happen. They might go to the finals. We'll see. But I do want to play this Shaq clip because he had a really good point, and I don't really say that often. So.
Yes and no. One is the business of basketball, but when you say you gave the city your all, that ain't true. And I'm about to say some things, and keep in mind I have G14 classification to say these things.
Rush hour.
We gave them to you. Didn't work out. You asked for Chris Paul. We gave him to you. You asked for some shooters. We gave it to you. We asked for Westbrook, your homeboy from Little League. We gave him to you. It didn't work out. And when you say I gave you everything, I say no, you didn't. Because the last 5 games when it comes to elimination, you're 1-4. You've been shooting 41%, 24% from 3, 32 assists.
Yeah, so he just went down the numbers of all the shit that he hasn't been doing that greatly. But that was also before his debut with the Nets. Since then, he's been just shooting lights out. He had 30-plus points in the first 2 games of the Net. The first game being a triple-double, so. And then the second game being a double-double, so. We'll see. But, it's also about keeping healthy, so we'll see. Then Kyrie Irving, this nigga acting like Dennis Rodman when he was with the Bulls. He's acting like Las Vegas in the middle of the finals Dennis Rodman, but with a sprinkle of activism. So I ain't too mad about it. The sprinkle of activism being that he recently purchased a home for George Floyd's family. So shout out to Kyrie Irving for doing that. I said that definitely is the bigger picture, but it's like, So, seeing's believing. Yeah, I guess they are the new Big Three now. The original Big Three I guess Run TMC, but no, really the one that as far as like getting trades working in their favor for the team. The 2008 Boston Celtics team, that Big Three will always be muy magnifico, especially with it being an honorable mention of a Big Four because John Rondo was getting buckets too. So, but I don't know if the Nets is going to go all the way as far as winning the actual championship, but I do see them going to the finals. I just can't see them not going to the finals, but I don't know. Who knows? I don't think the Bucks will for sure. The Bucks are just, they're like the new Hawks. Like when the Hawks was good and they were perennial 4 or 5 seeds, that's what the Bucks are now. So y'all keep on doing what you do. The Hawks might actually make it to the playoffs, but I don't know. I mean, speaking of John Rondo, maybe he can lead us there if we're lucky. But yeah, I mentioned earlier, the March Madness is definitely happening, and it's going to be a little bit earlier. I won't be watching it. It's just getting way weird for me to be watching college basketball, knowing that these kids are not getting paid. I just don't. What's there to root for? So. But yeah, I mean, I haven't filled out a tournament bracket because I did that every year for the past like 20 or so years, and the past few years I just stopped, and I'm glad I haven't because it gets so intense. There's so many damn things to care about. I'm good. But while we're on the subject of brackets, balling, Laurie Harvey. Boy, she kept the roster, didn't she? People mad about it, too. She was with Future. She was with, goddamn it, hell, both Combs. I think not Justin, King Combs. The one who's the most successful musically. That Combs, as well as the dad, Diddy Combs. What is it with niggas and... Like, why do men love young women? That shit's so weird. Because it's like a fresh pair of ears to lie to. I don't get it. But anyway, moving on. Laurie Harvey's out there getting in them sheets, getting in them. She hey man, I ain't mad at it. But yeah, she's currently now with Michael B. Jordan. So that's cool. I think a lot of women were mad, like they had a chance with him. I mean, like I don't get mad at celebrities loving on each other or just in general, like, fuck it. Dudes get bored anyway. They're going to find someone else to love and afterwards. So just like Laurie Harvey. I mean, she's just doing the same thing they doing. I mean, it's literally a taste of their own medicine, but except they ain't even know how they medicine tastes. So, but yeah, they seem to be into each other, so that's cute. But yeah, Laurie Hart. Oh yeah, it was Trey Songz she used to date too. I mean, it was a lot of people. But none of them dudes I would ever really date personally. Like, if I had a chance with any of them, I would not really care to. Like, Trey Songz, nah, I'm good. Michael B. Jordan, I don't care where Wallace is. I really don't. I was sad that Wallace got murked, but I don't really care where he is. Nah, I'm being mean. But yeah, good for them. Chronicle's a good movie. That was when I really discovered Michael B. Jordan again. I was like, who is this promising young black gentleman? And literally after that, he was like, boom, because he did the Oscar Grant one, Fruitvale Station. So it's really cool seeing him, seeing his roles transcend, and now his role is of being Laurie Harvey's new bitch. No, I'm just... Ooh. Go ahead, girl. Get down, girl. Get down. Speaking of girls getting down, Sex and the City's coming back. I don't know who asked for that shit. I mean, how many times are they gonna milk the same old cow? Like, goddamn, these cows' udders are very, very sore while we milking them. And it's coming back without Kim Cattrall. So, and just like that, I lost interest. But yeah, it's going to do a reboot on HBO Max, and not a single ounce of interest coming from my body. I did watch that show, and I was in college. I realized I watched that show because I did love Kim Cattrall's character so much. Samantha Jones is just a funny character. But she won't be in there in the reboot, so I'm good. Don't necessarily need Miranda talking about how upset and I mean everybody. Miranda complains, Charlotte whines, and Carrie Bradshaw does it all. Like just all around annoying. And there's a lot of women like a lot of shows that's geared towards women. I realized that it's just I don't like because it's not it's not necessarily geared towards us. It's like geared towards what people think we should be like. I don't even know. Like Girlfriends, I was trying to watch the 5th season and I realized, oh, this is why I stopped watching. It just got really too toxic and gross to me. I mean, and then it's all the stereotypes. You can tell that Kelsey Grammer was definitely a executive producer. He don't know anything about anything black. So I don't know if he's a Trump supporter, but he has been Republican for a while. Anyway, yeah, Girlfriends. I wish they did what Issa Rae's doing with Insecure currently. And that is ending at season 5. Because that's what Insecure is going to be doing. This is the 5th and last season coming up, and I am intrigued to see how it is. But it got pretty diluted as far as the writing goes towards the end. It went more towards drama as opposed to fleshing out these plot lines. Why do we have to have Lawrence being like? Do we really have to bring a baby in this? You know. Especially, but then so now it's like, oh, so many things got to explore again. Lawrence was lying, and then how serious was he with old girl? It's a lot of work, but that's I mean that is relationships, especially when you are insecure. So that show does a good job in that. But like I said, I'm going to watch it just to watch it to support Issa Rae and see how it grows. Towards and how it ends rather, and see if she and Molly really do pan out or if they are done. So, because I mean, that's a lot of toxic ass friendships, man. Like it's no thanks. Like Molly, like in this season, I really want to see Molly be better as a person and a friend. So. But yeah, I don't understand why these shows gotta be so like Golden Girls is pretty like that was definitely the precursor, that was the prototype, but I mean Laverne and Shirley, that was like that too, but a lot of these female sitcoms are really just male centric in that it's all about keeping the man, getting the man. Oh, I met this guy, this, that, and I mean, yeah, that is true. A lot of us can be like that, but it would be cool to see some shows where it's a woman who's really happy with just being who the fuck she is and happy in her own skin. But of course, that won't sell. It's got to be some conflict. So I get it. But yeah, you can miss me on the Sex and the City reboot. I'm done with that shit. All right. So, oh yeah, before I go into the timeout, because it kind of does tie in what I was just talking about. So, I saw on this podcast that recently followed me, and I followed back, and I won't say the name because I'm not criticizing it either. I'm just saying that it was something that the dude said that kind of triggered me, because I'm like, oh, is this why certain things happen the way that they happen? Because this type of mentality. And he was talking about how if he was exclusively talking to men. It was like an advice to men, and it's like, hey fellas, if you meet a woman and you're talking to her and she has a lot of guy friends, going about your business, because she is clearly a freak, and she got a roster of dudes who, they just waiting on the boyfriend to mess up so they can slide on in. And it was just so many like, what? And I mentioned this before. It's like, oh, This is why, like, because I had a lot of guy friends and I've had male roommates, and nothing has happened with any of those situations. So, but that doesn't look like that on the outside, apparently, because to guys, it's like, oh, well, what did she do where it was so easy for her to be able to talk to this guy about certain things, or be comfortable enough to live with them and nothing, and I don't got time for that type of shit, because I really don't be thinking that way. So, and I'm not like that. And, but even if I was, who the fuck cares, right? I mean, it's just so weird. Like, I mean, double standard is such an understatement. Double-edged sword is more accurate, because it really is. It's like, we really are damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like that whole Madonna horror complex. It's like you want us to be saints, but you get upset when we not sinning. Like, I just, So I just don't say shit. I don't do shit anymore. I just stay in my crab shell, because I ain't got time for this shit, trying to figure out what the hell I gotta do to stroke some nigga's ego. So it's like, what I gotta do this go around to stroke the ego and make you feel better about knowing me. Yeah, that I just disagree with that wholeheartedly, because it's really not like that for a lot of people, for a lot of women. And then on top of that, the whole concept of friend zoning is just, who's to say the woman's friend zoning? Who's to say she's not being friend zoned because some dude's too scared to try to make a move? So who's to say what? Anyway, not the battle of the sexes. We just gonna move on. Also, I want to showcase this shirt. It is definitely Allen Iverson crossing over Michael Jordan. It's one of my favorite shirts of all time. Shout out to Rat Tail Tees. I think that's what it was called. Rat Tail Tees. Yeah, I got it from Redbubble. So if you ever want some cool ass custom shirts, go there. In the meantime, I am going to go to a time out, because I need one. And it's not really gonna be too long. I just want to talk about a few things and then be on out my way, because I try to not get in my feelings on these types of things, and the last episode I got in my feelings twice. So but this one, I just want to say very briefly, no more Mr. Nice Guy, like Alice Cooper. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Yeah, that's basically how I'm feeling. I've been talking about this with my friend about how, because she's like this too, where she was talking about how lately she's got, like the past few years, she's gotten more vocal about how she feels, and she's been more firm about placing boundaries and things like that, aka been great about sticking up for herself. And that was we were just talking about how, we don't hold grudges. And that's where it starts. It's when you don't hold grudges. Not to say I'm glad that I don't hold grudges, but that's how it started for me, where it's like, oh, well, I get upset, but I'm not going to hold grudges. And yeah, I am a typical Cancer in that I'm sensitive and I get upset, but I just don't hold grudges. So I guess atypical in that aspect. But yeah, I just don't stay mad long. So when I get over it, it looks like to the person who's the offender, oh, well, I can do this again because she's just going to get over it anyway. And I attracted so many people like that. And now I've gotten rid of pretty much all of them now. But yeah, it's like that whole concept of keeping the peace and not sticking up for yourself and not saying anything and biting your tongue just because you want to get over it and not hold any grudges. Fuck that shit. Like, and I said this before, don't let shit slide the first time, okay? After it's just one and done, treat that shit like a John Calipari basketball recruit. Like, one and done, nigga. Like, we are not here to be people's therapists, babysitters, this, that, and the other. And the whole concept of benefit of the doubt, fuck that shit. Because in my experience, at the end of the day, I was better off doubting the motherfucker because there was no benefit in giving them that benefit of doubt. So, no. Yeah, I mean, it's like I really have been, I would really just bite my tongue about so many things because I can handle, I'm a tough broad, I can handle this shit. Fuck that shit. I'd rather y'all think I'm a punk at this day and age. Like, I'm 36, man. I want y'all to think I'm a punk ass bitch at this point when it comes to my feelings. But at the same time, I get really, really it's so funny because it's like I'm sensitive when it comes to my feelings, but at the same time, when it comes to protecting them, I come really ruthless, like Eazy-E, rest in peace. So yeah, I can't, I, as in people who also relate to how I'm feeling, we can't be doing that shit, man. We can't keep letting shit slide. We can't keep giving people the benefit of the doubt when we know for a fact that it doesn't make us feel good, Like when we constantly ignore our gut feeling because we want to give people a chance. And you can't do that shit, man. This ain't Leave It a Beaver. Okay, I've been watching a lot of Leave It a Beaver, and it's always, the issue is Beaver fucks up because he's trying to be a nice kid. And it's like, yeah, you could be nice, but it's genuine. You can't just force the nice. So, but the whole concept of being nice is incredibly overrated. So, but yeah, I can't do that shit no more. I mean, I've had so many people try me because of it too, and I have to show them the side where I don't like showing, and they're like, you know what? We cool, baby. Mobby. And I pretty much want that message to be conveyed from here on out. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's please not A. She's not play. Oh, Jay-Z takeover. I'm always quoting that. But yeah, seriously, I skipped recess in middle school and elementary school. So, I don't know. Middle school we had junior high and we had middle school, which is like K through 6. So, but then there's elementary school, which is K through 4. So many schools. But yeah, man. Let's go ahead and move on to the break, 'cause I want to start talking shit. And the dude I'm talking shit about this go round, dude, as in this person is a dude, not that I'm constantly like each week is a new dude I bash. No, this one, because it's always a mixed bag when it comes to bricks, man. Everybody fucks up, so it holds no gender. But this brick is I mean, who really be asking him for his opinions, Like, just do beats, you know what I'm saying? Just do some beats with some trumpets and a whole lot of hey. And you know who I'm talking about by this point now. Swizz Beatz. He definitely gets the brick this go around because Versus is doing a special edition for the Pro Bowl NFL All-Star weekend. It's next week. I don't know what dates. It's like a 3-day thing. And it's going to be a versus of different athletes showing their highlights. Like, it's a literal highlight reel. So, the shit that you can get on YouTube. Yeah, so it's going to be athletes in live showing their top 10 or whatever highlights. And before, I don't even think Swizz Beatz gave people a chance to even criticize it first. He just, like, the caption was, "We gonna get back to the music. Let's not have a small mind." Let's not have a small mind, as in complying that these people have a small mind because they're disagreeing with this. I mean, hip-hop and the NFL, it just don't mix right now, Like, you saw what happened with Jay-Z. It just don't mix. So, the NFL and hip hop is not mixing with the treatment that Colin Kaepernick's not gonna get back in the NFL. We already know this now. So this whole cry of, oh, well, they blackballing him, he ain't coming back. But still, the fact that they did blackball the fuck out of this man, it's not something to really get over. I mean, why? And then on top of that, we have so many of our people play this damn sport, and a lot of our people are hurt like a motherfucker for the rest of their lives because of this shit. Nah, we goody. So it's not being small-minded when you're saying, nah, man, it's not a good look. And also, why you trying? This is exclusive to us. The NFL is not us. Versus is us. Granted, yeah, you did it on a platform on Instagram, on Apple, but it's technically on Tidal, so okay, still not black. Whatever, man, you get it, okay? Still, it's for the culture. Versus was definitely for the culture. We got Keisha Cole and Ashanti finally coming back to do their. It's like it's like their second rescheduled, so they're finally doing that, and that will be cool. But the versus thing is kind of diluted now once you bring in. You know how much I love sports. I love if it was the NBA, it wouldn't have been, I would be okay with that. Like the NBA, like getting Allen Iverson showing some of his highlights and shit. But still, it's just a weird thing. Like, I mean, yeah, you're saying that you're going to get back to the music, but how are you going to get back to it when after this shit? It's going to be weird. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm already losing interest in this versus anyway. So, I mean, can you really top Too Short and E40? I mean, yeah, you can, but as far as like something like that, but I am intrigued to see what's gonna go down with Ashanti and Keisha Cole. That'll be cool. But yeah, at the end of the day, Swiss Beats, nah, dude, you shot, like, it was so crazy because he was so intentional with his caption, with his wording, and it's like, how you gonna brick something that you posted up for? You squared your knees, you did all the formation for it, and you even called corner a backboard, and you bricked it, but like not even a brick, it was an air ball. How did that happen? You better off airballing than a free throw, nigga. Anyway, let's move on to the swish. And that swish is going to, of course, Regina King. She is a bad mamma's jammas. She taught me all I needed to know about feminism in 2 movies. Boys in the Hood, Who You Calling a Bitch? Why Gotta Be a Bitch? And Poetic Justice. She showed me what type of niggas not to fuck with. I could. That's why I don't even fuck with dudes with low cut Caesars with deep waves, man. Always brushing and shit. Fuck that shit. At the same time, I do love the city that he was named after. Shout out to Chicago. But yeah, Regina King, man, I've been watching her. I mean, 227, like I've watching her just be from 227 to all the way to what she has accomplished now. She got an Emmy. She got an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress for If Beale Street Could Talk. And now her directorial debut is getting Oscar buzz. One Night in Miami, one of the best films I've literally seen in the past decade. Like, there's only one other film that I really love as much as, like, that made me just fucking go crazy because I loved it so much after watching it, and that's Moonlight. So, and that she teamed up with Barry Jenkins. I wonder if she got some sort of insight from him or what, because One Night in Miami looks like something that Barry Jenkins would have done. I mean, the direction was great, the cinematography was great, the color schemes were great, the color palettes of the scenes were great. All the things just amazing, and then the acting, holy shit. But I'm going to get to that later specifically. Meanwhile, I'm talking about Regina King, and she is killing it. I mean, Boondocks is my favorite cartoon, and she plays Riley and Huey, which are 2 incredibly nuanced characters that are totally different, with totally different voices and tones, and she masters them perfectly in the same room. Like, I hope she got paid double for that shit. And yeah, she's doing the damn thing. And then, oh, this is a fun fact. So her historical drama, which is, well, again, I'm gonna talk about it a little bit. We're literally right after this, but One Night in Miami, it debuted at Venice Festival, which is the first debut from a black woman in its 70 year history. So boom, she got that. Then there was a very competitive bidding war to buy the rights to that movie because, of course, COVID, so it wasn't released in cinema. So the studios were like, just like, I want it. And she's like, well, let me see what they saying. They're like, I want it too. She's like, well, let me see what they saying. No, me. Like, people were really like, yo, we fuck with this shit. And it ended up landing with Amazon Studios. And it ended up being one of the top selling buys of an independent film in history. So, ka-ching, I mean... And she also could be the first black woman nominated for Best Director. And then she could be the first person ever to be nominated for Best Supporting Actress as well as Best Director. So, whole lot of possibilities for this woman, and they're completely infinite, and I will keep supporting her. Go you, Regina King. Your last name is King. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes the last name is all you got to say. My last name, North. I just like going forward, baby. Fuck going backwards. You feel me? All right. Highlight reel clearly is going to be One Night in Miami. It's about I think it's February 25th, 1964. That was the actual historical date where it was Cassius Clay at the time. He was on his way to being a very young 22-year-old heavyweight champion of the world. And you had Malcolm X, who was going down there as his advisor, as well as be there by his side to declare that Muhammad Ali was becoming Muhammad Ali and no longer Cassius Clay. And then you also had Sam Cooke there, as well as Jim Brown. 4 of the most iconic figures in each category of, like, you had Sam Cooke in entertainment, you had Muhammad Ali in boxing, you had Jim Brown in football, who was about to get into acting, and then of course you had Malcolm X, who, man, the dude who played Malcolm X, it was very well done. And he's a British guy, which I know there's this whole divide between American black actors, and I won't say divide, but there's like tension still with, ever since Samuel L. Jackson made that comment about how British black actors are playing historical American black figures, like the gentleman in Selma who played Martin Luther King, and then you have this gentleman who's playing Malcolm X, and he's British as well. And then, of course, like Daniel Kaluuya, who's playing Fred Hampton, and he's British. Like, all these things. I mean, that's a valid point, but at the end of the day, we can't be the same people who also get mad at them if they don't consider themselves black, you know? Like, you can't be like, oh, man, I don't understand why these British black actors are playing these iconic American roles, but also be like, I can't believe these Nigerian British actors don't consider themselves black. So, can't go both ways. But anyways, that was a digression. Point being, the dude who played Malcolm X, I'm not saying names because you're going to look him up anyway. So, the guy who played Malcolm X, he just destroyed that role. I mean, you rarely see Malcolm X. I mean, the only Malcolm X really that we got as that's fictionalized is Denzel Washington's portrayal. So this guy who did it, I mean, that's one scene that was very, very tense, but a very intense scene between he and Sam Cooke. Lord have mercy. It was to direct that scene. whew, shout out to Regina King again, because that scene was just so powerful. I don't even want to give too much clues about this movie. I just want y'all to watch every single second of it and enjoy it just like I did. And it clocked in a little under 2 hours, and it just got the point across so beautifully. Just and then the acting, jeez, I mean, everything about it was so great. Like, I love this movie so much that I'm definitely gonna watch it again over the weekend so I can really break the shit down. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, y'all gotta check that shit out. If you have Amazon Prime, check it out. If you don't, hit me up. But then we'll talk about it. We'll watch it together. Okay. Oh, shit. We down to the overtime, y'all. A little clap. Yeah. So, keeping in the same vein, talking about movies rather. Sorry, I got... I'm not even going to edit this out. You're just going to have to deal with that awkward ass moment. But Outside the Wire was a terrible movie. It had a very hollow plot, poorly written. Your boy, what's his name? Damas Idris, the dude who's in Snowfall, who's pushing 30, but it looked like he's pushing 20. He was in it, as well as Anthony Mackie, which... That's why I watched it. I'm a sucker for Anthony Mackie. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what it is. It's the eyelashes, maybe, them high cheekbones, the smile. I don't know. Needless to say, that wasn't enough for me to like that movie. I did not enjoy it. I watched it from start to finish, and I was like, what was this? But, I mean, again, the acting was between those two was pretty good. I feel like that movie would have been better if it was written by black people and directed by black people, but because it wasn't, I will watch a white movie that's about white people. I don't mind that shit. But when you have white people trying to write about black experiences, it's fucking odd. This just doesn't mix well. It doesn't do well. Nah. So I didn't really enjoy Outside the Wire, not even a little bit. But hey, no hard feelings, man. Keep on trying. Netflix, that's the thing. That's why people are going to Amazon, because Netflix is so, it's just convoluted as fuck. It's so many films going over there, and it's not, you just don't know what's good. So, and Outside the Wire was one of them. But hey, man, keep on trucking, baby. I listened to, that's pretty much it. I haven't really watched anything else. I did watch some movies. That's all I've been watching is movies. I haven't been watching TV shows lately. I've just been more on a movie kick. So, I have been listening to this duo. It's pair of Nigerian sisters, Van Jess. One word, VAN and then JES. Fan-fucking-tastic. Like, they have, like, some of the music is very housey and has some K. They did a song with K Tronada, and I really, really love it. They did a song with Masego too, both very housey and dope. But they also have some really good R&B tracks, and it's very Zhané-esque. And y'all know how much I love Zhané. I talked about them a few episodes back. Boy, oh boy, these girls are dope. These women are phenomenal. I really love it. And they only have one full-length album that came out in 2018 called Silky Casual, but they've come out with a handful of tracks in 2020, and all very dope. They even did a cover of Groove Thing by Zhané. So yeah, High and Dry is my shit too. I fucking love them. I've been enjoying that. Also, I have a playlist that I released on my Instagram account. I'm gonna try to do a weekly playlist, and I feel like I can do it because my playlist used to be over 30 tracks. Now I'm just keeping it down to 10. So I feel like I can have a nice chunk of weekly playlists on the way. But this one was particularly based after One Night in Miami, so it's a lot of 60s and 70s tracks, and a lot of them off Stax Records, because Stax is Black Motown. You see what I did there? But which is ironic, because Motown is black owned and Stax was white owned. Well, it's Jewish owned, but white Jewish. Anyway, yeah, they were. It was a brother-sister combo, and then you had Berry Gordy, Motown. But yeah, Stax I prefer Stax Records, man. They're the people that they had on there, ooh-wee, beyond funky. So yeah, if you I actually did I typically do my playlist just by doing a list of 10 songs in my notes, and then I screenshot it and just share it so people can plug it in their own listening streaming services. But I actually made a Spotify playlist, so if you want to hear it, it's public. Just go to my account or my artist page or whatever. It's not artist page, but it's like way you can follow me. So just type in AMWOW, AMWOW, so AMWOW. And you can find that playlist. It's under Amberland 1 2021. So that's the date that I did the playlist. And yeah, it starts out with some dramatics, and then we got some staple singers, some Donny Hathaway, some Sam Cookery, and then some who else is on there? A lot of people, because it's 10. So yeah, just check it out. Check it out. In the meantime, I am going to enjoy the rest of my night and take this makeup off. I insist on putting on makeup every time I record, because I got a lot of makeup on sale during the pandemic, and I want to use them shits. But also, while I'm in my hair transition, I want to look as fly as possible, fresh face as possible, because I really am getting Lester from, this is the second time I'm quoting this show, I'm getting Lester from 227 vibes. It's like, or did y'all ever watch that, or did you ever read those comics, Curtis, the black comic, Curtis, the dad always had like a little, anyway, whatever. Oh yeah, if anyone knows how to, so if you, I got that, what do you call this, shrinkage, so if you straighten it a little bit, we might get a little grip. So if anybody got a really nice grip when it comes to braiding, let me know, because I'm going to try to get these braids back in so I don't have to worry about looking like Lester from 227. All right, y'all. I really appreciate y'all listening. I'm going to go enjoy my night. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's week. I'll holler at you later. Mwah. Bye.